We're getting a chance to talk, man.
Holy fuck.
Yeah.
Pretty psyched up.
I'm not really familiar with your content, and I just saw that Fresh and Fit reaction. And just to get into the debate / conversation, can you explain your point of view?
Well, I thought that we were going to talk about masculinity primarily. So I'd be more than happy to just jump into that, because when I watched your reaction to my Fresh and Fit breakdown, I think that you were like, you seemed like floored over my statement that masculinity is a social construct.
What does that mean to you? Because I hear that being thrown around by a lot of Twitter liberal people. Like, what does that mean, masculinity is a social construct?
So what it means is a lot of the times people think that masculine and male are just one and the same, like synonymous, when in reality there is biological males, of course, and then the expectations that we place on those males, how they should communicate the fact that they are male, is masculinity, and it's that is socially constructed. So there are definitely biological characteristics that we have classified as masculine, like physical strength, right? But there's not any one way to be masculine. And finally, I think another good example is that height.
It's not one way to be masculine?
No, there's not just
really
one way to be masculine. You could be weak physically, but engage in
Super
other types
strong
of
in
behaviors
areas,
that might be categorized as masculine. There's no one way to be masculine.
Okay. Do you think you're as masculine as somebody like a UFC fighter?
Yeah.
No.
Or even me? Or would you? Okay, why?
Yeah,
Is that
it could be
a
in
social
other
construct,
ways.
or is that just basic?
It could be that he's really good at fighting, but that's like it. That's all he's good at. He's not good at providing any other way for his family, gathering resources, any of that stuff. It could just be that he's a really good fighter. I don't know. If your idea of masculinity is just is strong and can fight, then no. But I guess it just depends on what your idea of masculinity is.
Biology.
No, because what you're missing is that we as humans have categorized these certain behaviors as being masculine. So you saying, I have big muscles, we have categorized that as masculine. Women can have big muscles, but it doesn't mean that she's necessarily masculine. Similarly, height also is oftentimes considered masculine, and that is also based on biology, but it's women who wear high heels to become taller, and that's considered feminine. So height can be masculine, but if a woman is tall because she's wearing high heels, that would be feminine.
Example.
There's no one way to be masculine.
When you say social construct, when I hear people say this, it basically just comes down to the fact that you're just like, humans have definitions for words. That's it.
Well, partially, yeah, but that doesn't mean that everything is a social construct. Because, again, it's not just the definitions, it's also what is the definition referring to. There's a collection of behaviors that are laid out in society as to how men should behave. And that's considered masculinity. I can give you an example here. This comes from the Conformity to Masculine Norms inventory. It specified 11 norms as far as masculinity. Winning, emotion...
Okay, what did he just say? Masculinity what?
Collection of behaviors that are laid out in society as to how men should behave. And that's considered masculinity. I can give you an example here. This comes from the Conformity to Masculine Norms.
Conformity to masculinity. I think he said .org.
Inventory.
Oh, inventory. Items and subscales. Outcomes predicted. Wait, what is this? Conformity, sound emitters to the extent that individual male conforms or does not conform to actions, thoughts, or feelings that reflect masculinity norms in the dominant culture in U.S. society. Wait, where did he get these? I hate it when they do that.
It specified 11 norms as far as masculinity. Conformity to masculine norms inventory. It specified 11 conformity to masculine norms inventory. It specified 11 norms as far as masculinity. Winning, emotional control, risk-taking, violence, dominance, playboy, self-reliance, primacy of work, power over women, disdain for homosexuality, and pursuit of status. So plenty of that is socially constructed. The idea that you're a man, you need to be winning, that's socially constructed. There's nothing innate.
Okay, I think I found it. The CMNI is a widely used measure that's used to measure changes list 11 dominions and aspects adhering to traditional Western masculine norms, values. On the next page. Okay, winning, emotional control, risk-taking, pursuit of status, primacy of work, violence, power over women, dominance, playboy, self-reliance, homophobia. Oh, okay. The questionnaire is measured on a 4-point scale with strongly agree, strongly disagree to strongly agree. Has been used in multiple studies and continuous variable with low scores indicating nonconformity and higher scores indicating increased conformity. Oh, really? Thinking about your own actions and feelings, please indicate how you would personally agree or disagree with each statement by circling SD strongly and then respond. There are no right answers. It is best for you to respond with your first impression when answering. Yo, what's happening, Snowy Harris? Yeah, we were just finding there's apparently they have like 11 traits for masculinity that they use to kind of help judge whether people are conforming to like ideas of masculinity within the society. I just wanted to go find it. Wanted to see this. My work is most important part of my life. Oof, strongly disagree. I make sure people say as I do. Only my child, so. Kind of agree, kind of disagree. There should be a middle option. In general, I do not like risky situations. Generally agree. It'd be awful if someone thought I was gay. Strongly disagree. I love it when men are in charge of women. Strongly disagree. I like to talk about my feelings. Strongly agree. Items are coded as SD. Oh, and then the other ones are coded reverse. Oh, okay. Interesting. I should print this out sometime and do it. That'd actually be a lot of fun. Or I could do this. What? What do you want? What the hell is stuck to your butt? Ew. Why were you rolling up around in the snow in the front entrance? Gross. No, get your gross butt off there. Gross. Gross. Where's the new Word document? Just 1 second. Okay, display capture. Let's turn it on. Okay. Okay, so SD equals 0 unless there's an asterisk, and then it's the reverse. Okay. My work is the most important part of my day. Strongly disagree. Oh, Darkest Dungeon is really good. Okay. So we're saying strongly... Oh. Enable editing. There we go. Okay, I'm saying strongly disagree for me, so that's a 0. Just a big old 0. I make sure people say as I do. It depends on... I would probably put agree when I'm in like a leadership thing. So if this is 3, what would this be? 1.5? Oh, hang on. No, so this would be 2. So we get a 2. In general, I do not like risky situations. This is true. So this would be a 3, 2, 1. It'd be awful if someone thought I was gay. Strongly disagree. So that's a 0 because it doesn't have an asterisk. Oh, Hades is a really good game. I love it when men are in charge of women. 0. Strongly disagree. I like to talk about my feelings. Strongly agree. And that's an asterisk, so that's a 0 because we start on this side. I would feel good if I had many sexual partners. I guess it depends on what you mean feels good. I mean, it's not a touting point. I'd probably go agree. We'll give myself a 1 there. It's important to me that people think I'm heterosexual. Strongly disagree. I don't care. I believe that violence is never justified. Disagree. Disagree on that one. I'll give myself a 2 on that one. I tend to share my feelings. Ooh, strongly agree. That's a 0 because it's got an asterisk. I should be in charge. Kind of disagree. That's a 1 on that one. I would hate to be important. I would say disagree. I'll give myself a 2 on that one. Sometimes violent action is necessary. I would agree. I guess it depends. Somebody's breaking into your home. Violent action would be necessary. So I'm going to give myself a 2 on that one as well. I don't like giving all my attention to work. I would strongly agree. More often than not, losing does not bother me. Strongly agree. God, I play lots of games I lose. If I could, I would frequently change sexual partners. Strongly disagree. Fuck that. That's exhausting. I never do things to be an important person. Ooh, disagree. Probably strongly disagree, but we'll disagree. We'll give ourselves a 2 there. I never ask for help. I would agree. We'll do a 2 on that one as well. I enjoy taking risks. Strongly disagree, because that's what I said last time. So we'll do a 1. Men and women should respect each other as equals. Strongly agree. Winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. I strongly disagree with that one. So it bothers me when I have to ask for help. It does actually. So we'll get a 2. We'll get a 2 on that one. Okay, what do we got? What's our score here? 0, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15, 16, 17. Out of, well, they would all be out of 3. And there's 22 questions, so 66. Yes, only test of my life. So glad I failed. Yeah, because it's a low score indicates not a lot of conformity with current day norms. Nice. Okay, we're 17s. We're alphas. We're giga alphas.
To men, that means they have to win. Right?
What's your point? What's the point in saying that it's a social construct?
My point is that we have decided that certain behavior is masculine, and so long as we're able to acknowledge that,
we're the arbiters of our own masculinity.
The aspects of masculinity that are harmful to men.
Toxic masculinity?
Partially, but I also recognize how that term has been just completely...
Well, that's what you're saying. You're saying harmful masculinity, it's the same thing. So you're saying that there's certain parts of masculinity that we shouldn't embrace. We should let that go because it's
so good.
Toxic, harmful.
Well, yeah.
It's kind of like this game in a lot of ways.
Like the women, right? It's toxic to the men. It hurts men specifically, and that's why I try to.
What parts of Max? What do you think is toxic masculinity?
The idea that you should suppress emotion. The idea that showing if you cry, for example, as a man.
I like how too like. It doesn't seem like you're progressing in storyline in Hades as you keep like going and dying, but it just keeps moving forward. Wait, the price goes up? Oh. Why are all his followers covered in goo? Wait, I have to sacrifice follower? Oh, that's easy. Old one. Wonderful, wonderful. Yes, much better. I have a few more of those things willing to help me grow my collection. Oh, he's giving me a nice, giving me a part of the whatever this is. Nice, we almost got one of them. Can I give you another follower? I can give you another old one. I got a couple of them. Well, he just keep giving me pieces. Is that what it is? It encourages you to fail. It's like a failing system. I think I got to the third boss is the farthest I've reached in that game.
That is absolutely detrimental to a man's mental well-being.
You're really going to argue with me and say that crying isn't weak?
It's not, and it's further evidenced by the fact that masculinity is a social construct. So, for example, this comes from a historian.
No. Okay, don't keep repeating
crime
that.
Crime is
it's
weak?
Very basic
I'd probably
things. Like, yes, you should be able to express your emotions, but would you cry on camera?
I mean,
yeah.
Maybe. It would depend on what I was talking about. But
would you...
wait, hold on.
Okay.
I'm not just repeating that masculinity is a social construct. I'm explaining that in the Middle Ages, there was a trope of masculine weeping being a mark of religious devotion and knightly chivalry. So by the 16th century, it was well established
the dad
that
is
a
kind of a
masculine
dick.
man was supposed to have deep emotions and to show them, in some cases, through tears. So the fact that at one point that was masculine, and nowadays not showing emotion is considered masculine, demonstrates that masculinity has changed, which demonstrates that it is a social construct.
Because you have one thing from the 16th century that you just read?
No, that's not just the one thing. Do we want to look back at ancient Greece? You know, small penises used to be a symbol of masculinity back then.
Yeah, they were also having gay butt sex in Greece.
That's irrelevant to what I just said. Do you acknowledge that certain aspects of masculinity have changed over time and throughout history?
I like the 4 tarot cards idea.
Okay. But you can be steered and go off into the wrong things. But masculinity and femininity is parallel in every single animal kingdom. Not just humans, but you don't see the leader, the father of a family in any animal needs to be strong, needs to be guided, needs to be winning, bringing food to the table. And if you waste time crying, then someone else is going to eat you alive.
Well, we're not. Well, we are animals, but we are not.
We're
animals
not just
in the
so
sense that we operate
simplistic.
only on instinct. We're human beings. We have far more complex mental capacity. And you're wrong, because if you want a man to provide for the family, that man needs to be mentally.
Yeah, there's so many things that go into, like, if you're working. Nice. What do we got? 2+ damage, consume less fervor when attacking, 10% chance of negating. Okay. If you're working a pretty demanding job that requires, like, a lot of you mentally, you might have to express your emotions and decompress to be able to continue to engage in that job to provide for your family. Also, I always hate this, like, oh, animals don't have to do it in the animal kingdom. Bro, you're wearing clothes and talking on a computer. I think you're long past what other animals are doing. Why aren't you, like, what? You know what? Other animals don't use toilet paper to wipe their ass. Why the fuck aren't you using your tongue every time you fucking take a shit? Because we're not fucking... Because we aren't a bunch of animals. Like, we are animals, but we're not, like, uncivilized. Yeah, I've never understood that. Like, yeah, it's not natural for me to jump in my car and drive fucking 100 kilometers an hour, but I still do it anyways.
To do just that. And when you suppress your emotions because you're afraid of looking weak or looking feminine, you are damaging your own mental well-being.
It's not afraid of looking weak or looking feminine. It's just crying and being emotional as a man literally puts you in a vulnerable state. And
it's okay to be vulnerable.
100%. That's exactly what crying is. Is being vulnerable. And the more you put yourself in a vulnerable position, the quicker somebody else could take advantage of you. If you spend more time being emotional, then someone else will walk all over you.
Okay, well, hold on. I think that you're a little bit confused. It can be vulnerable to express emotions and to cry, yes. But
you're not going to be vulnerable all the fucking time. It's not like, oh my god, I cried last Tuesday. I'm going to let this guy take advantage of me. And it could be actually, if you're not expressing your emotions, it could be that actually people are taking more advantage of you. Right? You might be in a situation that you would otherwise advocate for yourself, but you're not going to because it seems like you're discussing your emotions or how you feel. So I think this is just a really, really piss poor way of looking at it, which is unfortunate. Because there's nothing wrong with being vulnerable. In fact, you need to be vulnerable sometimes to be with like partners and shit like that. Well, just like, and the thing is like, it's just be themselves, but they can't even be that because there's so much overthinking pressure that it's like, oh my god, if I experience this emotion, people could come and attack me for it later on. It's like, bro, that's just like, that's sad. I've never once had a good cry and thought, you know what, fuck, if I cry right now, somebody might use this against me later. Oh, he's praying. He's praying. Boom. Oh.
Just cry all day, every day at everything. Yeah, there's a time and a place to appropriately express emotion, of course. But this isn't just for men.
Wait,
this
did
is
he
literally
heal?
For every human being. Women shouldn't be melting down crying at the job either. So there's a time and a place to express those emotions. And again, it's okay for a man to be vulnerable at times. That is a necessary component of, honestly, the human experience and the ability to better your own mental health.
True.
I'll read you some of this.
I don't want to keep reading.
Another good thing that you can do with kids when you're teaching them kind of all about their emotions and how to deal with them, is trying to tell them by like what emotions are appropriate and what are inappropriate, because there are times for inappropriate where emotions are inappropriate. And I try to do this with my son when if he has his feeling, I let him have it, but then I let him know, hey, that feeling that you had in this moment was inappropriate. Here is a better feel. Like, this is how you maybe have to deal with that feeling, or expressing that feeling. Like if you have a child that cries every time you tell them no, they can't have a candy bar. It's okay that they had that feeling, but that's an inappropriate feeling to be having. And they have to learn to, not suppress, but handle and express that emotion in a more healthy and optimal
Studies
way.
and stuff like that. I want to
Well,
have.
I know you don't, because they all contradict all of this dumb shit that you constantly advocate for.
What dumb shit do I constantly advocate for?
You have talked all the time about how men don't need to be in therapy talking about their feelings. They need a tough older brother to just go punch them and tell them to shut the fuck up, or tough it out, pussy, or something like that. So yeah, you have advocated against the idea of men being in touch with their emotions.
Do you go to therapy?
No.
Okay, why not?
Well, I used to, but I don't anymore.
Why'd you stop going? Why are you not in touch with your mental health?
Going to therapy is not synonymous with being in touch with your mental health. But when you say they don't need to express emotion, or they don't need to be talking about their feelings, that is advocating for the very problem that is affecting men.
You don't get it. So I don't say that you should suppress your emotions. You should feel it, you should go through it, but you should act accordingly. So you can be emotional and still do what you need to do. Going to therapy, wasting time, and even thinking that it's dumb shit that you should just keep pushing forward is going to be a time waster. So what happened to me recently, like when I got banned on YouTube, was obviously that shit made me feel emotional. 9 years of work, everything deleted, constant hit pieces about me, YouTube taking money away from me, my life's work all being stripped away. I could do what you want to do, go to therapy, I can talk about it, I could cry, or figure out a solution and still feel those things.
No, but
so you can do both. You can do both.
I'm not done with my point.
Well, your point is irrelevant here and doesn't actually help your argument, because you're
You didn't hear my point.
I don't need to hear any more of your point or your personal anecdote. I don't give a fuck. The problem
it's not a personal anecdote.
The problem here, Sneako, is that you are creating a dichotomy. It is not either push forward or roll over and start crying at therapy. It's both. It's you can be in touch with your feelings and your emotions, learn how to work through that, and continue pushing on. I'm not saying people should just give up. You're making this into a dichotomy.
It's weird how crying is synonymous with that.
Putting words in my mouth. Men have the capacity to feel emotions and then make the decision to keep going.
Yeah,
Women and weaker people don't have the same ability to.
That's what Hunter's saying, is you can have the emotion and still move on. And he's like, no. You cry, that's it, game over. GG everybody, GG. It's basically give up. You cry, that's it.
They need to cry. They need to process it. But it can be processed through work. This new age idea that we need to go cry,
skip back
that we need
to
go
work.
therapy, that we need to talk about it, that I need to go on TikTok and talk about my problems is all a waste.
What are you saying?
When
Go to
just keep
TikTok
pushing
and talk.
forward,
TikTok's
you can have
probably the worst
conversations
place
with
to go to
people,
talk about
but
your
spending
feelings.
more time investing into your feelings is ultimately a waste when you
No.
know what to do.
You're wrong. Again,
Why am I
this
wrong?
because it's not a dichotomy. You should, quote unquote, know what to do and move forward and push on in your life. But the way in which you can do that more successfully is also by being in touch with your emotions and also being
what does crying
willing to
accomplish?
cry at times. If
What
you
does
need
crying
to.
accomplish, Hunter?
Okay, well, it's that crying can scientifically release certain chemicals in your brain that can help you assess the situation better. There's that. And it's also even more so, it's the suppression of emotion and crying that really does the damage. To be crystal clear, especially for people watching, I'm not advocating that all men need to be crying at the same rate as women. That would be pretty silly.
Well, and it's not even to say that. That's not even. I don't think anybody said that. The thing is you need to be able to express the emotions that you're feeling in healthy ways. If sadness here. When I get anxious, depressed, kind of lost, a really good way for me to handle that emotion is to clean. Honestly, God, is to get some work done, clean up a little bit. Jordan Peterson, my fucking life. Okay, go be a fucking top lobster, clean my room, do some dishes, get some shit done. Feels really good. Feels like you accomplished something. For somebody else, when they're a little depressed, feeling under the weather, a really good activity for them might be going and visiting friends, right? Or it might be a good cry, right? Or it might be a bath, or it might be some time alone, or it might be painting, or it might be, there's so many different ways that you can express that emotion. But the issue is if you as a man have a sad fucking moment in your life where it's like, you know what, I kind of like to cry. If you don't express that emotion in the way you're feeling like you should express it, and instead suppress that fucking emotion deep down inside like a fucking bottle, right? You just fucking cram that bitch in. That's not good. That's unhealthy. That's the thing we're trying to avoid. Nobody's saying you have to cry. Nobody's saying you must weep like the fucking Virgin Mary when fucking Jesus died, okay? Nobody's telling you that. They're telling you is if you have an emotion, express it in the way that you feel like you have to express it in a healthy way, right? Not to say that you get fucking angry and you're like, you know what? I just need to express it by beating my fucking dog. No, that's not a healthy way. You can still get angry, right? But the way that you're expressing it isn't healthy. But we still want men to express those emotions when they're feeling them in healthy ways.
However, what I was trying to read you earlier a second ago, there is a meta-analysis that was done on the relationship
Sneako just looks so
between
disgusted.
repressive coping and certain diseases, and they found that repressive coping literally increases your risk of developing cancer. So again, when you make it sound as if boys shouldn't be at therapy talking about their feelings and instead should just have an older brother that tells them to tough it out, pussy, then what you're doing is you're contributing to negative outcomes for men.
Contributing to cancer?
If you're telling men that they need to repress their emotions in order to be a good man or
I just
a manly
recruited that
man
one too.
or masculine, yes.
Okay. What's your demographic? What's your audience?
My YouTube audience?
Yeah. How many females and how many males you have watching?
I don't know.
You don't know? You should check. So I have 95% males watching. And the reason I had this giant blow up right now and why my stream blew up
do I gotta
so
run back to
fast
my
is because
cult?
I was connecting with a lot of men.
Oh shit, they have no
who
faith.
Understood that what I was saying is something that they needed to hear, something that they understood inherently.
Wasn't there a super-based business about giving people destructive tools and protective gear and things? Oh yeah, there was. Yeah, there was. That'd be a great way to blow off some steam. Shit. I am back with the faithless. Hey. You fucking dissenter. That's okay. We're going to sacrifice him. We're going to ascend one of the followers. Where's that moose? Oh! Ah, there. Doesn't everybody feel better? Let's preach a little sermon. Give unto me all your worship, for I am the Lamb. Can we do one more ritual? Can we boost these fuckers one more time? What's this one? Catch double. Oh, that's good food one. Oh, that'll bring me down. Funeral's an easy one. Let's do a funeral. We've had a couple members die. This one was a heretic. Give him the stone. May his soul rest in peace. Okay, yeah, everybody's a little better now. One more ritual. Bonfire ritual. Hell yeah. Let's get to dancing. Ah. There we go. Much better. What? What do you want? Hey, later, before you brought me to the call, my sister and I were separate traveling through Acre Deep. Can you please go find her for me? Yeah, sure. Oh, look at you, and your level up.
You should check your demographics and see who's watching your videos. And we can get a consensus in my chat right now. You can type a 1 if you agree with me that it's better to keep pushing forward, and type a 2 if you think that you should cry and process everything.
You're doing it again. You keep
processing is pushing
it's not
pushing
because
forward.
It's not either or. It's not option 1, cry and talk about emotions,
Okay,
or
then let's
option B,
establish
push
something.
forward. Do both. That's the most healthy way to go.
Okay, doing both is still doing it. So let's make an establishment. I'm saying, here's my argument. It's better to not cry. As a man, can you make a statement?
Yes, my statement is there's a time and a place to express yourself and express emotions, including crying. And you telling men that they shouldn't cry.
Wait, one of these people
does
died.
harm. You talk constantly. I've watched some of your content. You are consistently talking about men committing suicide at higher rates. That is a legitimate problem in America. And it's already been demonstrated that emotional suppression links the relation between suicidal thoughts and suicidal attempts. You're advocating for something that results in a harm to men.
Emotional suppression?
Yes. I can send you this study too if you'd like. This is emotional suppression, mediates the relation between adverse life events.
Wait, I'd be curious, what does Sneako think leads to suicide then? If not just like the suppression of oneself or like I don't understand what he my guess is he would be like, oh, it's because they weren't becoming high value males. I don't know.
Adolescent suicide, implications for prevention. And this is just one of many that demonstrates that.
Yeah, I'd probably
when
say
you
they were weak,
engage
probably.
in suppressing emotions as a coping mechanism, you are just increasing your likelihood.
Suppressing. I'm not saying suppressing. I'm saying understand what the emotions are and then act accordingly. Because ultimately,
wait, did you not just say that men shouldn't cry?
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
so what if a
suppressing.
man
That's
wants to cry
you can
and you're telling
feel
him
the
not to? Isn't that
emotion.
suppressing it?
No, you can understand what's making you upset. You can feel the emotion. Doesn't mean you need to act on it. You can make the decision to what you want to do in your life. It's very simple. Like right now, obviously getting banned on YouTube makes me upset. I'm not crying about it because I understand that the long term, I'm going to be happier. My emotional state's going to be better if I keep on working. If I go to therapy, then I'm going to be in a downward spiral. Nothing gets accomplished, and I will be more upset because all the work that I've done will go to nothing.
But why
That time I spent-
why do you assume that?
Holy shit, this guy's just one-track mind. It's an either or thing for Sneako. It's either he goes to therapy or he deals with the problem. Well, no, he legitimately thinks it's one or the other. You can either like push through the problem and kind of almost borderline ignore it seems like, or you can go to therapy and make the problems worse because you're going to think about them and you're going to put a bunch of work into it. When the reality is like they're not mutually exclusive.
Because
It's not a
therapy can actually be
path. It's not an either
incredibly
or.
beneficial. There's plenty of evidence that therapy has benefited people in their mental
Nice,
health,
gained a
in
few
their
extra
mental
hearts.
well-being.
It's a place. You don't need. There's nothing they're gonna tell you in therapy that you don't already know. The answers to all your problems are very simple. Your happiness comes from life experience, from love, from gaining more, for accomplishing things, getting respect, living life. That's our happiness. You're not going to therapy to get happy. You're going there to talk about your feelings. There's nothing they're gonna tell you that you don't already know.
That's not.
I
necessarily
totally beg
true
to
at all.
differ.
I don't know why you would assume that. Second of all,
What's a revelation you've had in therapy?
I don't need to give you a personal experience.
One of the revelations that I've had. Oh shit, we had it when we did the family therapy, with my son, because I felt like we had pushed through, a lot as parents to reach certain milestones that maybe we weren't really good at. And I did feel a little bit lost as a parent. Where do I go from here? I'm doing these things. I'm not really seeing the results I want. I don't think it's something that my son was doing. I think it's something that I'm doing as a parent. I'm missing something and it's leading him to act this way. And I think there's something I can do, but I don't know what it is to better help him with basically his emotional state in life. And when I went, I realized that there are emotions that I'm projecting to him that all he's doing is just projecting those back. So a lot of his frustrations, a lot of his anger is just me. It's just almost like it's like the fucking, it's like the Harry Potter where he's like fucking deflecting the spells, and it's just being literally everything he's shooting it back at me, right? If I'm super frustrated, he's super frustrated. There was a lot of anxiety things that I kind of had to deal with, and it was the realization of how far we have come and how far I can still go. And it was good having somebody else to listen to my problem that at the end of the day cares about me just enough to help me, but nothing more. Because sometimes in your life, you're worried that the people that you surround yourself, like friends and family, might be sugarcoating things with you because that's maybe what you want to hear to like maybe either push past in the conversation or just legitimately the things that they want to tell you because that's maybe what they think you want to hear. Sometimes it's really good to go to a third party that at the end of the day doesn't really give a fuck about you because you can hopefully trust the advice that they're giving you a little bit more, that they're not just sugarcoating it. It's not just something that you want to hear, but it's legitimately something you like that you should hear. And one of those realizations was the idea of good enough parenting. You want to do a good job, but you'll never be perfect as a parent. So you try to maximize the things that you're doing for your child, while kind of realizing that there is no like perfect divine parent out there, regardless of what other parents want to tell you. And you're always just going to be a good enough parent. And that looks different for everybody. Most people do tend up kind of hitting it, and they make very productive little members of society when they grow up. But that's sometimes really hard to get across if you're a little bit of a perfectionist as a parent, is kind of coming to that realization. So no, therapy can be fucking based.
So a lot of the times therapists will not give you some big revelation, but instead walk you yourself through certain emotions and feelings so that you can come to a better conclusion, or so that you can deal and cope with these things, again, in a more healthy way.
It's healthy because that's what they want you to think. They make a lot of money and you keep going back. But then answer this question.
Right.
Why do you
So there we have the conspiracy.
Yeah.
What's the conspiracy?
That
They're just trying to make
they
your...
just want you to keep going back to make money.
That's exactly what it. That's not a conspiracy.
They don't want you to
business
keep
of
coming
therapy.
back.
Just
That's
if they
how it
make
works.
money providing therapy does not mean that they are incentivized or are trying to keep people down so that they keep
Therapy
coming back.
it doesn't end. There's no date where therapy.
By that logic, Sneako is also not actually trying to help people. He's just trying to get them for his money or for their money. Because realistically, if Sneako was to help people get women and get out in life and be high valued males, they would never consume his content. That's why, you know, a lot of people argue the self-help kind of areas of like bookstores and life are really scammy, because you are the product in the self-help kind of world. And if you do get better and you stop buying self-help books and products and stop consuming those things, their kind of revenue source goes away. So it's a weird kind of perverse incentive between actually providing help and like keeping the customer base kind of in a quasi state of feeling like things are getting better, but always needing the next help. So
Therapy's done. You just keep going every single week. That's not a conspiracy. That's how it works, Hunter. Let me
Maybe
ask
people
you this.
leave. Wait, it's possible also that therapy is just effective. People don't go forever. They'll leave.
That is a
once
good question,
therapy
Snowy
has been,
Harris.
Effective enough in helping them, in bettering them, their life.
Do you see yourself going back to therapy?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah,
there you
I'd probably go
it
back at
doesn't
some
end.
point.
I'm saying I'll never go to therapy. My
No,
point
that's
is,
not
why do
proving
you
your
think?
point at all.
Okay.
I don't think
Sneako, have you thought about yourself? Do you consider yourself a high value man? Why are you continuing to work on yourself then? If you already consider yourself a high value person, why are you continuing to put in the work? You should just status quo along. Right? There should be no need for you to move on. You've already reached the high value target. Why do you have to continue moving on? Because you want to do better, because there's certain things that you're like, it'd be like saying, "Oh, are you able to curl 25 pounds at the gym?" Yeah, perfect. Why would you go back? Well, because I still want to keep doing better. Right? I might take certain classes that involve different muscle groups, right? As in, you might go see different therapists with different issues, right? It might be that you go for one issue, you work through it, you're going through, and then you self-reflect, you introspect, and you go, oh shit, there's another area of life I'd kind of like another set of eyes on, or another opinion on, and you end up going back to therapy. There's nothing wrong with that.
I don't even understand what you're saying right now. Like, yes, I used to go to therapy. I don't anymore. Now I have different issues in my life that I want to deal with, and sometimes seeing a therapist
It's a
can be
never-ending
beneficial.
problem. It's a never-ending problem.
Sure,
Why do
he's
you
gonna have
feeling
issues
stressed?
in
Yeah, that
life.
can be a pretty never-ending problem. Yeah.
Right. Why do you think that I've resonated with so many young men and you haven't?
Because they're lost looking
I
for a
don't know,
purpose,
and
and
I
you
don't
do
really
sell a
care. I
fantasy
think
world
that
that's really
part of
easy
the
to live
reason
in.
that
Well, we both do content. We both live stream. It's an accurate thing to think about.
I think
we're
part
both
of the
creating
reason
content.
is
We're
that
both
you-
talking to people.
I think part of the reason is that you offer a easy way out, in a way. I think
True.
that a lot of the times don't go to therapy, don't confront your feelings and your emotions, just stick it out, tough it out.
It's
You
really
gotta
it's
fuck a
really
bunch of
easy.
people.
Going to therapy is really hard. It requires a lot of like mental fortitude. It requires a lot of like self-sacrifice. It requires a lot of allowing somebody else into your life. It requires a lot from you. And that can be really scary to a lot of people. And I think the idea that like oh, you don't need to go to therapy. It'll be okay. Everything will be fine. You just keep pushing forward. You keep working out. Is in a sense easier to do, but worse for your life. So I go. Sometimes it's just good to vent. Could give you tools for getting things done. It could be that you have just little things in your life, and it could be that you're already at the peak best life that you could possibly be at. But much like going to the doctor for a checkup, there's nothing wrong with going to a therapist just to sit down and chat a little bit. So it's good for people.
How is that easy? That's the most difficult thing in life.
No,
that
getting
was
more
because
money.
telling
that was the-
people to just
no.
stick
God
it
damn it.
out is only detrimental to their well-being. So
This
the problem
this
is that you resonate
making
with young
things-
men. It's true. However,
Forgot I had to go pick up
you're
that prisoner
resonating with them
person.
for the wrong reasons. You're telling these vulnerable and impressionable guys that they need to be suppressing their feelings, which makes it more likely they'll commit suicide, makes it more likely that they'll be depressed, or even act out in violence against women. Like, you're contributing to the same problems that you complain about all the time.
It's my fault that there's okay. You're saying that it's an easy solution to tough it out. I'm saying no, it's very difficult. What's easier is going to therapy and crying. That's the easy solution. Paying $150 to sit down on a couch and cry. That's the easy solution. What I'm offering is the hard one. The journey, the life path of a man is very difficult.
Agreed.
You need to get it. You need to get in shape. You need to make a lot of money. You need to be funny. You need to learn how to talk to women. All that shit that's going to make you happy as a man is extremely difficult. I'm saying, yo, get up. I'm doing push-ups on my stream. I'm trying to inspire that fire that young men have inside of them so that they can make their life better. It's
Okay,
that's not an easy solution.
Some of the
that's
things
the
you're
journey
saying,
of a
I don't
man.
even. Some of the things you're saying, I don't even necessarily disagree with.
disagree with, yeah.
You should do everything you can
Why would you
to
say
better.
it's easy? Why
better
would you
your
say
own
that
life.
what I'm saying
Because
is easy?
the more challenging thing to do is actually being in touch with your emotions and working through them, not just suppressing.
It's not even that. Asking for help, right? Because that's essentially what you're doing when you're going to a therapist and you're like, hey, I can't seem to work through this puzzle. That is myself. I need a hand. I need a help. I need somebody to look at the fucking picture with me and be like, what the fuck am I looking at? And you know what? That's actually incredibly hard. It's super easy just to lone wolf it all by yourself and never reach out to anybody for help. That's the easy part. Might be hard on like the psyche and shit like that. But that's the easy part, like, right? You never have to go out of your comfort zone. You never have to worry about like somebody assessing kind of where you are, looking at you. And honest to God, I wonder how much it is too of just not wanting to feel maybe judged, or like this like thought process that a therapist is judging you when you tell them your problems, which is not at all the case.
Because I'm a man.
And if your therapist is judging you when you say your problems, you should probably leave that therapist.
That's the easiest thing. See, when I got banned, the easiest thing would be sit there and cry. You know what was harder? Sucking it up and doing a podcast that night.
I don't think you understand, because when you tell guys to just suck it up, there are times, yes, where you do need to suck it up. I agree with you. This isn't just like a universal rule. However, there are also times when men should and need to express emotions and feelings and even cry if they need to.
Why were you going to therapy?
I was going to therapy because of OCD and depression. It was a long time ago now.
Okay. What was?
yeah.
I mean, I don't want to get that personal, but OCD,
It benefited me, but I'm not even saying like you.
Do you
need to
take
go
antidepressants?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you think that helped? Do you still take them?
Yes, it has helped immensely.
Okay, you're on Prozac. You took the booster shot, right?
I'm not on Prozac. No, wait, hold on. We're not going to just pivot away from this. We're not talking about boosters right now. And actually,
you took the booster,
No,
right?
I actually didn't get the booster. I was
Wait, you got vaccinated?
I got 2 doses of the vaccine.
Got vaccinated?
I didn't get the booster because I was way too scared that was the one that had the microchip in it. So I decided to avoid that one. Not to mention, when I got the second vaccine, I had a weird fucking side effect where I had this like nearly uncontrollable urge to download Microsoft Windows Explorer, Internet Explorer. It was really quite crazy. So anyway,
I've noticed a parallel. I'm not pivoting. I just want to make this observation. I've noticed a parallel. People who say words like toxic masculinity, who talk about antidepressants and therapy, are also vaccinated. It's all tied in to make everybody control.
You got it, Sneako.
These are things that they do to suppress us and keep us down and
True
have everybody
based.
believing in the same thing so that we're easily manipulated and we're compliant. Booster shot, vaccination.
toxic masculinity.
You
how
got
is
it.
that-
Saying
You
toxic
got it.
masculinity because you're crying. You're not embracing your masculine nature. You think that being a man is toxic.
No, I don't. You're wrong. And this is the misconception, because a bunch of blue-haired fucking dipshits on Twitter have completely abused the term toxic masculinity.
Yep.
When
People like
I
you
talk
too.
about toxic masculinity,
he can't
I'm
think
talking
past
about
it.
social expectations that are placed on men that are toxic to the man. I'm not talking about toxic masculinity as it's bad to be a man or to even be masculine. But when you posit these ideas that men need to suppress emotion, tough it out, what you are doing is you are negatively impacting men's mental well-being. And I don't know why. if,
Extreme
quote,
masculine urge to
they
download
wanted
Explorer
to
Edge.
control us, they would be advocating to address these toxic expectations that are placed on
Why,
them.
yes, I will
if they
download the
wanna
latest
control us,
update.
like telling men the type of masculinity, the type of masculinity that you're pushing for, the suppress emotion type, that contributes to more suicide. How are they going to
Interesting.
gain? How are they
Yeah.
gaining control?
You repeated that 3 times. I mean, basically, and
Because
you didn't
it's
answer.
true. Yes.
Okay, you didn't answer the more giant question. Why do you think, like, really try to think about that? Why do you think that I'm connecting with these men and you're not?
I don't know
just
what
said.
relevance this has. I think that, again,
Because you're saying the same idea that everyone is pretty much saying. This is what they want us to believe, that
Who's
it's
they?
toxic. Everybody who's talking about this.
okay,
These ideas come from someplace. This is a new idea. Toxic masculinity, mental health, therapy. These are new ideas that we all start echoing and believing. You see it in articles. You see it on social media. You see it in the news. You hear from everybody
I don't think
in
you
charge.
understand how that when I talk about toxic masculinity, this is referring to a broad societal problem that is detrimental to men. So
Okay.
if we want to talk about
I think we need to start using the term healthy masculinity as more like progressive people online. And I think we need to ascribe certain actions to it. So, because he's obviously, as soon as they hear the word toxic, it's shut down city. Instead, I think that there'd be a lot of usefulness. I'm not sure how we would go about it. In reminding people that there is such thing as like healthy masculinity, right? A healthy masculine trait is proper hygiene. That's a healthy masculine thing to do. A healthy masculine thing to do is also doing your work, right? Or fulfilling your responsibilities. That's a healthy masculine trait. It's also a healthy feminine trait. They can be both. Same with it's a healthy feminine trait to for proper hygiene, right? I think it was really good when we kind of identified some of the things we didn't want men doing, like the toxic masculinity, like the super performative nature, the highly aggressive nature, right? There's healthy levels of confrontation. And part of that would be like a healthy masculine trait would be, unwillingness to back down maybe from confrontation, but being able to deal with it in like really healthy ways. I'd have to think of a better way to phrase that. But I'd like to push that kind of idea more, because I think what ends up happening is when we only talk about the negative, people like Sneako come in and they completely steal the healthy masculine aspect with whatever kind of shit they want to push. And I think we kind of need to take that. I think we kind of need to take
what
that
the
back.
APA has said, for example, the American Psychological Association. They have said that the pressure that boys and men feel to conform to certain aspects of traditional masculinity can lead to poor health outcomes, including higher rates of suicide, substance abuse, violence, and early death. Now, men committing suicide, men committing suicide is a huge problem, okay? I agree with that, and I also appreciate the fact that you talk about some of these issues. However, the solutions that you're offering are detrimental to men, and not only that, they're detrimental.
You're going to talk about what's better for men if you're, I mean, no offense, you're on antidepressants. How are you going to talk about what's better for your mental health if you're not, if you are literally popping a pill every day saying, I'm not happy? What the fuck do you know?
Do you know what an ADHOM attack is? Do you know what an ADHOM is?
That's not an ADHOM, bro, that's not an ADHOM attack.
Yes, it is. You're not even addressing my argument. You're saying you take pills? What?
You take antidepressants. You are acknowledging every day, I'm depressed.
No.
So what do you
No,
know about
Taking
happiness?
antidepressants is what, first of all. Second of all, I don't need to. Second of all, I don't need to know, or I don't need to be in the best mental well-being myself to still be able to read what these studies demonstrate, that telling men to suppress emotion does nothing but contribute to higher rates of suicide, substance abuse, and violence. Not to mention, this type of idea also negatively.
Why would you ever shit on somebody for taking their medication? This doesn't make any sense. Like, you take your medication? What a fucking loser. What a loser. They'd be like a cancer patient being like, you know what? It's really good to kind of like try to live a healthy lifestyle. Eat lots of fruits and veggies. And Sneako's like, you're going to lecture people on fucking healthy lifestyles when you have cancer? Cancer boy. like really?
Impacts men within relationships. So we have already done, there's been plenty of studies on this, for example.
Well, Hunter, your way's not working.
Wait,
Your method's not working.
Wait,
what do you...
isn't Hunter, and not only that, okay, Hunter's got a job, he's got a wife, he's got kids, he's got a house. Like, Cancer Boy is not top 10 of my superhero names. Like, I believe Sneako's in a relationship. I don't know if he owns his own house. I like how they both have the YouTube things in the background. That's pretty funny. Fucking #jealous. Like, how can you say what Hunter's doing isn't working? Is that not the life like you're trying to sell to your audience? Is this one of like relationship, money, houses? Like, what do you mean? Like, this is that's weird.
Wait,
Strange.
your view of men's mental health and everything is not working, and you're admitting it every day by taking an antidepressant.
Okay, if you're gonna just cling to like you take medicine, LOL, then that's fine. But you're not making an argument right now.
It
That's
is.
not medicine.
It is medicine. It's been clinically demonstrated to be effective, and I don't know what your hang up is with this. Okay, chill the fuck out. I want to read this to you really quickly. This talks about how there's masculine discrepancy.
I don't need pills to be chill.
And intimate partner violence.
You might.
Says, quote,
you might.
Research on gender roles suggests that men who strongly adhere to traditional masculine gender norms are at increased risk for the perpetuation of violent and abusive acts towards their female intimate partners.
Yeah, no shit.
Stop reading these studies, bro. This is just
no. I know that you don't want me to read all of the information that completely obliterates all the dumb.
And realistically, twice self-made. Right, because he ran a YouTube channel, nuked it because he had a change in views, and then has like worked to rebuild it. Like, yeah, I don't know. It's a feels weird, champ. I hear you, stupid little knife wielding bastards. Oh, fuck, I hate that. Whoop, 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 whoop. Ooh. Surprised we're surviving this one.
Say, but let me finish at least, okay? It says, in the present study, we assess the effect of masculine discrepancy stress, a form of distress arising from perceived
It's not
failure.
having a debate or a conversation.
Stop,
you reading
stop.
these articles is not a conversation.
It's not an article, it's a study, and I would like to just read the little blurb here, okay? This is
The fourth
educational
article
for
you've
people
read.
listening, okay? In the present study, they assessed the effect of masculine discrepancy
If
stress.
you're depressed, you should not be educating people on happiness.
A form of distress arising
True.
from perceived failure to conform to socially prescribed masculine gender role norms. Results indicate that masculine discrepancy stress significantly
But you can look at me and talk to me. No one in the chat's
men-
listening to this. Like this,
That's
you're
not
just
true.
I'm
reciting
listening
plot
to
points.
it.
Have a
I
conversation
understand if
with me.
everybody in
Have a
your chat
genuine
is like a
conversation.
brain dead fucking cuck, but I'm trying to just demonstrate that the type of masculinity that you are consistently
Yes.
advocating for
Get to screaming
hurts
at each
men
other.
and hurts their future relationships.
Okay. Do you know who's not on antidepressants? Andrew Tate, Fresh and Fit, me. The red pill people live happy lives. You don't take pills.
Wow.
That's great, dude. That's super cool.
Well, the
Why don't you keep
idea.
talking about snorting pills.
Lava flooring? Yeah, hell yeah. Not only that, we're talking about like the 1% of the 1% of people with money, these massive careers, like, and it could be that they still have chemical imbalances in their head, right? It just might be they're not as prominent because they're so busy in other aspects of their life that if you were to remove that busyness, it could actually be that they require like antidepressants or anxiety medication or like other medication to help them like regulate those functions. That's entirely possible. And not only that, it's a lot of the faces that we put out to the world aren't always the actual face that we're feeling, right? So it could be, right? That's why, Robin Williams' death shocked the world, right? That's why these celebrities that end up killing themselves, it's like, holy shit, they seemed really happy. They had it all. They had money. They had fame. They had, they had the power. Like, they had all the shit, and they still fucking killed themselves due to depression, right? You can list off all these people and be like, oh, look how fucking happy they are. They're not on fucking antidepressant. You have no fucking idea. You have absolutely no clue. And you would never know in these circles because they would never let any of those feelings out. Absolutely not. Fresh and Fit isn't going to go to Sneako and be like, yeah, man, I've been feeling a little depressed lately. That's not a conversation they're going to fucking have, even if it's true. Not even fucking remotely. So to cite these like high fucking podcasters as they're somehow living like their happiest lives, you have absolutely no fucking.
And I'll get back to reading this. It says results indicated that masculine discrepancy stress significantly predicted.
I'm not listening to you talk.
It's one more sentence. Calm down, please. Results indicated that masculine discrepancy stress significantly predicted men's historical perpetuation of intimate partner violence, independent of other masculinity-related variables. So the type of masculinity. No, we're not moving on yet. The type of masculinity. You said the same point 6 times in a row. Because I don't know how else to get them through your thick fucking skull.
By arguing and talking.
Gonna have to sacrifice one of my followers.
Part of what forms a good argument are facts to back it up. Okay, I'm just here to speak truth.
Are you? Okay. Let me tell you a fact. Everybody in the red pill world that you were calling toxic and that you were against, all those people don't take antidepressants.
You have no idea.
I'm so obsessed with this.
Because drugs
you're talking
bad.
about happiness, but you are on a pill that declares your unhappiness.
I think that this is actually really demonstrating a fatal flaw with your reasoning here. So for example, you realize that somebody could give accurate and correct advice on healthy eating if they themselves are fat?
They can.
Did you know that if somebody's fat, they can still say, the studies demonstrate that this is the best method forward for losing weight?
Would you hire a fat personal trainer?
That's not the question, or that's honestly
depends on what you're going for.
To what I just said.
If you're going for like a strongman and your personal trainer is kind of fat, yeah, probably.
Is accurate. No, if you were going to get a personal trainer, yeah, you would want somebody who's in shape. However, if there's a fat person delivering information about how to lose weight,
see, but no, generally you wouldn't want a fat one.
Has no bearing on whether or not the information.
I'd want Nick Avocado as my personal trainer.
That type of one, if you would not take
for a fucking
mukbanger,
fat
personal trainer seriously.
I don't know why you're doing this, my dude. It's like you're not capable of hearing what I'm actually saying right now.
Wow, do I only have?
But that's a great point.
Which one loves me the most?
If you're on antidepressants, then you shouldn't talk about happiness.
Do you love me the most? You love me the most.
That's not true.
Into the circle.
Whether or not I'm on antidepressants, whether or not somebody's fat, is irrelevant as to whether or not the information they're delivering is relevant.
Okay, but would you personally hire a fat personal trainer?
No, that's not the claim I made, and that's irrelevant to the argument.
I'm not talking about your claim.
Going to get
I'm asking you a question. It's a different question. It's a different claim. Would you hire?
You're missing the point so bad.
I understand your point, but would you hire a fat personal trainer?
No.
Man, that heart is just out of my reach. A personal
trainer is somebody who needs to be in shape. However, if there's some fat fuck sitting on the internet giving information as to how to lose weight, whether or not they're fat is irrelevant as to whether or not the information
is true.
Tell me what YouTuber is that? Tell me a fat YouTuber who's talking about health properly.
This is a hypothetical, Sneako.
It's a hypothetical, but you're acting like it's real. That doesn't exist because nobody would take it seriously.
I'm laying out an analogy for you so that you can try and understand.
Okay, then give me the analogy. The same way that men shouldn't listen to you because you're on antidepressants is the same reason why a fat personal trainer YouTuber doesn't exist and why you are not resonating.
Oh, this was, honest to God, this was like my conversation with Be Weird, where I was like, is the advice good or bad regardless of who's giving it? And Be Weird said, it matters more who's giving it than the advice that's being given. Because I was like, hey, your mom gives you a piece of advice, and a chiropractor gives you a piece of advice, the exact same piece of advice. Is the advice better or worse if the chiropractor gives it to you? And he's like, worse. It'd be better when my mom gave it to me. But it's like, but it's the same piece of advice. This is that exact same thing. Just with like masculine issues. So I got lots for a bowl of poop. Not great, 10%. Oh, okay. Oh, well, I get to make one of those. Well, I came to realize that it was the support for the advice afterwards, I think, was what he was trying to get at. But on the in this kind of medium, you're not going to get really any support anyways for the advice I give you. Like, I'm going to give advice that I would generally give in my own life to other people that I know. But what he was kind of getting at was what makes it more valuable or better advice if a chiropractor versus your mom gives it to you is there's like accountability with your mom or support with your mom when your mom gives you that advice, right? So let's say you have a chiropractor and your mom, right? In the example that I gave him, and I said eating a healthy, well-balanced diet. And he would go, well, it's better advice from my mom than it is the chiropractor. But I think in his eyes, his mom would be there to support that choice. There'd be some accountability in that advice, like whether maybe she's cooking healthy meals and shit like that. Whereas the chiropractor, it's not as good advice because there's like not that support system kind of behind it, which was kind of what I came to understand. But we kind of talked past in that.
Okay, hold on.
Nobody's gonna take what you say seriously.
Wait,
if you are happy.
I'm not saying a fat personal trainer. I'm saying if a fat person sits down and tells you something about how to lose weight, the information they're giving it's whether or not it's accurate is irrelevant as to whether or not the person giving the information is fat or not.
That's true. That's true.
Would
Okay, thank you very much. That's all I needed.
Thank you.
Would you take it seriously though?
Oh.
It's as to whether or not the claim is sound. It's not as to whether or not the person delivering it is in the best health.
So my point, would you take that seriously? If you had a fat doctor tell you to start losing weight, and yes, the information could be correct, would you listen seriously?
Probably. A fat doctor told you to lose weight? Yeah.
From my personal doctor, yeah.
Yeah.
But you
had
just
a fat doctor.
Wait.
Stop.
It could be that the fat doctor is dealing with other stuff, and it's still his advice is still sound, right? His advice is like, hey, you need to lose weight. You need to you have a fatty liver, right? I went to my doctor the other day. He said, yo, CC, your liver, she's a little fatty. You need to cut back on the fatty food. Like, my doctor's got my doctor's a little bit bigger. It's not going to be like, oh, yeah? How about you lose some weight first, fatty Magoo? And then I'll think about looking after myself. Like, no, I can look after myself without my doctor also needing to fulfill that same lifestyle, even though his advice is pretty solid, right? Now, you could call him a hypocrite, maybe, for not listening to his own advice or not following through with his own advice, but the advice is still solid. Okay, we're day 63. When we get to day 69, we're going to have a party.
You're trying to pivot right now, and you're hurting yourself. Okay, you agreed with me.
Hurt itself in his confusion.
It is actually irrelevant as to whether or not the information is accurate from whom the information is delivered from. So me being on antidepressants is completely irrelevant as to whether or not the factual information and the statistics that I'm laying out are true and accurate.
Okay, the same reason
that I would not hire
a fat personal trainer, because even though what they're saying could be correct, I just wouldn't take it seriously. I'd be like, this guy doesn't know shit.
Actually, it's not too bad.
Same reason that I don't go to therapy. This person does not know more about life than me. They have nothing to tell me. That's the reason that you are not connecting with young men like I am, because they see you. They can see the fact that, I mean...
Say that's a bad way of looking at the world.
So they're not going to take what you're saying seriously about how men should act. You're on antidepressants. Why would they listen to you about happiness?
Because I'm not offering my personal anecdotes as to how to get better. I'm delivering statistical realities.
Reading studies. Okay,
yes, studies. The studies, it's irrelevant as to whether or not I am on antidepressants if the study is accurate or not.
Okay. Well, I mean, look at you. You go based off of studies. I go based off of logic, reasoning, life experience, things that make sense. And I'm not on antidepressants.
You're not going
based... Ooh. Hunter should ask Sneako, how the fuck do you know what a therapist does, or that you have nothing to gain from it if you've never been? If you're living your life off personal experiences, how the fuck do you know how therapists are if you've never been? I think that would have been an interesting question.
You go based on these studies, and you take those pills.
Wait,
So
I don't think you
why-
understand that if you're
isn't
going to
that
claim that
proof
you go
enough?
based on logic, how are you coming to logical conclusions unless you are reviewing the data? Unless you're reviewing some kind of a statistical
His personal
analysis
experience.
that
His
can
he
give
already
you
said.
a conclusion that is based on, again, statistics, data collection. Your personal experience doesn't speak for everybody.
All those stats are manipulated.
All of them are just blanket. All of them are manipulated.
They deliver what they
Giga
want
Chad.
you to read. They tell you the things.
Giga
that are in
Chad.
control. That's the reason why certain people get banned. That's why things are labeled as misinformation. The same reason I
True.
got banned on YouTube for COVID misinformation, election misinformation. There's certain things they can dictate reality. They can tell you what's real and what's false. That's the reason I got banned on YouTube, talking about the lies about COVID, the lies about the election. So these statistics and these studies that
This
you're
is
robotically
coping.
reading out. Well, these studies that you're reading are like, robotic, this is blah, blah, blah. I'm just like, I know that this is all manipulated because they put on the front page what they want you to see. The trending page, all these ideas, all the generic things that everybody's saying is stuff that's been handpicked by somebody else to keep us.
Yeah, but the shit Sneako is saying is generic fucking shit. He's not saying anything enlightening. There's no fucking enlightenment here. You're not getting anything new from what Sneako is saying. All you're getting is just fucking confirmation of the shit you already believe. This is just cookie cutter fucking ideas from Sneako. They're not nothing. They're not anything new. This is shit that fucking people have been saying for generations. Oh, you gotta be a hobby. You gotta have a lot of value as a man. You can't express your emotions. There's nothing new there. What the fuck? You're not adding anything. You're a repeat. That's your fucking.
That's why
you know.
I'm
Let's
wrong.
call him what he is. A
I don't
fucking
think-
bot.
Okay? You're coping right now. You can't just say all the studies are fake. That's, again, a lazy
I
way
mean,
out because the studies that exist contradict the type of masculinity that you push for. The type of masculinity that you advocate for worsens the outcomes for men. The type of masculinity that I talk about, I don't need to be a masculine guy. It's as to whether or not the information I'm delivering is accurate and based in empiricism. Mine is. I can demonstrate that the type of masculinity you push for contributes to the suicidality of men. And I don't
We can
think
all find studies that fit our narrative. I can
I
go
don't
and
think
search
that-
it up.
I think- I don't
it's
think
a
you-
waste of time, and it's not a good way to argue and have a conversation.
I
with
think that
somebody.
if you
We're
genuinely
going in circles about this. Let's talk about fresh and fit.
Round
Hold
and
on. I think that if you
round
genuinely
and
care about
round
men,
and
you would be
round
willing
we
to assess
go.
this information far more critically than you are right now.
Ooh,
you just writing
calling
it all
him
off
out.
as, oh, the studies are all manipulated, bro. What kind of cuck shit is that? There are study after study done by multiple different institutions that have all found the same fucking thing. The masculinity you push for contributes to the suicidality of men.
And you're saying all this.
follower
and I'm writing
sword,
you off
follower,
like a fat
follower,
train. You're on
follower.
antidepressants, so I don't take what you're saying.
So you're
seriously.
doing the ad hom again. You're
No,
actually
I'm not doing the
you're
ad hom.
embarrassing
I'm not
yourself
gonna
right now.
I'm not going to take happiness advice from a depressed person. That makes no sense.
I'm not giving happiness advice. I'm talking about
You are.
certain
You're giving
expectations that
mental health
contribute to
advice.
suicidality.
Okay. Well, I'm not suicidal, and I don't think anyone in my chat is. Hopefully, we talk about how that's bad. But I don't think that you should be talking about
Suicide's bad,
if
guys.
I care about mental health, and I'm
Good.
giving the wrong ideas
Perfect.
about
Nobody's
suicide,
suicidal
you're
now.
depressed.
Come on, Hunter.
Now let's
You're
talk
Get your
about
head out of your
idea
ass.
about masculinity and which it contributes to the suicidality of men, and unhappier marriages, and higher likelihood of committing violence.
All right. What's your problem with fresh and fit?
Yeah, your
So
mama.
we're just gonna move on from there then.
Yeah, we're going in circles, and it's just, yeah.
Okay, I'm happy to move on, but I do think that I should just at least point out the fact that you're engaging in an ad hom fallacy right now. When you say that you take pills, that is irrelevant as to whether or not the information I'm giving you is accurate or not. You need to contend with the data or the information I'm delivering, not with me personally.
Happiness is not studies and data. Happiness is something that you can't just write about and read from somebody else on the internet and declare that this is true and false.
I'm not
Happiness is something
talking
that
about
we-
happiness.
that we all
Wait,
have
then
to figure out.
wait, then why would you make any content, Sneako? That is what you're wanting people to do. You're wanting people to hear your content and then go out and make their own form of happiness. You just literally made your whole job irrelevant by that one utterance of that phrase.
Well, I am. Masculinity and mental health, all of that has to do with happiness. That's life. It's not something that you can just point out
That's
to a study and say, this is the truth about
that's
masculinity. That's a waste of time to go back and forth with these articles.
So
Now
you
let's go
understand
pivot
that if you're talking about happiness, then why are you advocating for men to suppress their emotion, which makes it more likely they'll have depression and be
We're
less
going
happy.
in circles. I explained that it's not suppressing, it's understanding, feeling the emotions, then doing the right thing and doing the best thing with your time. Keep moving forward, keep making more money, keep improving yourself, demand respect. Find some
agree.
love with the woman.
base.
and then
Moving
keep
forward,
pushing
go for it. Absolutely. Also be in touch with your emotions and don't suppress them.
I was gonna say that might have been the case because I know I think when I was going to school, I think that was the same thing.
The right way to be in touch with your emotions. That's some matrix shit. Now
Why
let's
should I
talk
listen to
about
you?
As it should be, honestly, in
If we're
school.
gonna do
you should
ad-homs,
listen
I
to
can
me
just say, like,
because
why
I'm
do I
not
need to
taking
listen to you then?
antidepressants.
So
I'm
what?
not on antidepressants.
That's irrelevant.
I'm happier than you.
Okay.
Wait, by what
You asked me a
quantity?
question. You asked me a question, man. You're on a pill that says that I'm
Do you want to
depressed.
measure our
For good
happiness
reason.
rates? Like it.
Well, you asked me a question, man. That's a genuine answer, and I don't see
You
how
can say
that's
you're
incorrect.
happier than me, but again, you're right. We are going in circles. But I just,
Oh,
I kind of.
that's another thing that people don't understand. Happiness in long-term form isn't an emotion you will always experience. So, trying to figure out how to describe this. If you are content in life, which is kind of like the idea of like baseline happy, there's really no emotion associated with that. There's not like extreme arousal. There's not extreme lows. It's kind of like it's a very peaceful feeling. It's generally when you're happy and content in life. I think one of the worst things about the idea of happiness is this idea that you must be in like a state of like hyper arousal or hyper excitement or hyper I want to say happiness, but it is kind of the only kind of like excitement for life and stuff like that. Like you're supposed to be in that kind of state of being when that isn't at all the case. And there might be even times in like a depressive episode where you might be happy for something, like you're happy that your wife came home, you're happy you get to see your kids, but you're still ultimately in that depressive state. And I think this just maybe kind of just, if you haven't really thought about these feelings or you haven't really engaged with them, it's gonna be leaving you in kind of a weird spot. Since therapists go, I work there for years, people my age will probably be a good therapist. Yeah, for sure. Especially if they've been there a long time, kind of dealing with the students and the pressures around that and things like that around life. Yeah, for sure.
Just feel for a lot of the guys that watch you, because it's like, I understand that they're all going to call me like a soy boy cuck or whatever, and that's fine, but I am actually advocating for certain ideas and views of masculinity that better men. It makes men better. It contributes to happier, healthier lives.
Let's see if you can garner a big audience of men, because I don't think that will be possible. I think
Pretty
it's
sure I
gonna be a
have
lot of
mostly
women.
men who watch me right now.
America
and
like minus 10
again,
at this
it's not
point.
about who
It's
I
not
can-
gonna. There's a reason why I'm resonating, and this message resonates with men across the world for all different types. And I think most of your fans are gonna look like you, and they're not gonna really try to do much with it. You know, a lot of women. I bet your comment section is saying like, "This is toxic." They're echoing the same things as you.
And your chat's probably echoing
Okay,
the same
I
things
don't know
as
what
you.
else to say. It's just, I feel like if you genuinely cared about men, you would actually do something about this information and not.
Well,
just,
if you're right, then take my fans. Let's see what happens, man.
it's not about
Talk
who
the
gets
same
more
shit I'm
fans
talking
or
about.
gets more views.
It's
It's
not
not
God,
about
what
that.
a
If you care
fucking
about men-
Well, if I'm
cringe
not
way to
doing the
think
right
about
job, then you do it.
It's that if you care about men.
Let's see if you can. If you care about it so much, then do what I did. Take over the world. Get 5 billion views on TikTok talking about it. Let's see if your live stream audience can match up to mine, talking about the same issues. There's a reason why men are not going to flock to you like they're flocking to this message, because men follow other masculine advice. I'm following masculine advice, what I believe to be true. Keep pushing forward, and people come here. If you are right, and I don't care.
Oh, another good question for Sneako would be, if your audience is so happy and so fulfilled in life, why are they consuming so much YouTube content? I would say generally people that consume a lot of YouTube content, as I can say from past experience, probably generally aren't the most happy people in the world. They're probably super depressed. They're probably time wasting. They're probably, like, as much as I love all my audience, love you all. That is kind of like a reality. Is that these people consuming a ton of this content are spending a lot of time on social media probably generally aren't the most happy people. Yo, what's up, Pursuit of Knowledge? We're just listening to Sneako and Hunter yell at each other, and Sneako's just yelling about how many views he has and telling Hunter to get the same views. So yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I would say so. That's life. So, well, I mean, like, if you're, like, generally on the days I have a lot going on and I'm doing a ton of stuff, I don't tend to consume a lot of, like, social media or YouTube content. But when I have days that are filled with kind of, like, nothing or myopathy? Is it where you're just kind of, like, meandering through? I'm probably going to watch a little more YouTube comment and engage with a little bit more social media. I think that's just true in general. It's entertainment. It's a time waster, right? So
then they'll go to you, and we'll see what happens. Time will tell.
That
now
doesn't actually matter. It's just that you're up here virtue signaling about how tough and masculine you are, while leading men down a path that makes it more likely they'll kill themselves.
Hey, you're repeating that. I'm telling you, if you're right, let's see if you could take them.
Okay.
They could, if they're resonating with you, if you're speaking to them at that level, they will go to your stream.
It's not just about if I resonate with other men.
That's exactly what it is.
No, it's not. I think that, again, you're falling back again into whether or not the information is correct.
Is that motherfucker laying eggs?
Whether or not I get more fans, whether or not I get more views, whether I have more men watching me, none of that is relevant. What is relevant
more
is
followers so I
the
can
information I'm
sacrifice
giving you
them.
backed up empirically throughout fucking history, and the information you're giving to men is a virtue signal soy boy cuck mentality. That you just gotta.
Okay, we get a little more damage, but it's a little bit slower.
That makes it more likely they'll hurt other people and themselves.
Okay, it's actually pretty quick.
Yeah, we can move on. We are starting to circle
repeating yourself so many times, bro.
It's hard to get it through your head. I don't know what else to say.
Because you say the same things that everybody else on Twitter says, man. You don't have original thoughts.
Big axe time. Got a big axe hole for you.
You react to all these videos. Everybody who doesn't like what I talk about says the same talking points. It's in circles. It's not going to change my mind. You're saying what you're supposed to be saying.
Okay.
Antidepressant opinions.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Why don't you like Fresh and Fit?
I already did a 50-minute video on taking down Fresh and Fit that you responded to.
I would like to talk about that a little more. I don't remember exactly what you said, but I think it'd be a good debate.
Wonder if somebody like Destiny kind of like did these like talking points and like these kind of ideas. I wonder what Sneako would say that. My guess would be just saying he's just a bot and just a lib. I think there's always an out for them. It's always something. You're always a bot, or you're just a lib, or there's always a way. There's always a way out. Fucking spiders.
It'd be a good discussion.
Well, I mean, I went over the video. Yeah, we didn't really agree to talk about like debate Fresh and Fit. I guess I could look over what I said in the video.
What to talk about?
I mean, I remember what you said in that video. Actually, I do remember a specific.
Yeah, I said it earlier that realistically, Sneako hasn't said anything that hasn't been said for like ages already, and that kind of comes off as like the bot opinion. Realistically,
or 100 beyond perfect.
Like the idea that men shouldn't be talking about their issues and stuff
so I didn't.
Isn't a new idea. The idea that men need to be these high value men, that's not a new idea, that's an old idea. Like they're like realistically the bot talking points and adding nothing new, that's kind of what Sneako has done. He's just wrapped it up in this like 21st century 2022 kind of cloth and presented it to the current men that are kind of lost and yearning for that, like that purpose or that drive. Which it does kind of suck. And, I mean, realistically pushing the idea that, you need to work on yourself, you need to... Oh, nice, better damage. Oh, but wait, what does this one do? Chance to... Okay, so Life Force. Oh, and a Ghost. I'm going to keep the Life Force one. That you need to work on yourself, like actually go to therapy, introspect, like get out of the house, do things that'll actually not just make yourself a high value person, but actually like, get a job, go get friends, go do things, read a book every once in a while, get off social media, go see a therapist, like eat right, exercise, clean yourself. Like these are all things that realistically need to be done, you know, but it's going to take a lot more work than just like, yeah, society fucked you, you know, become high value.
Like that,
so.
because, again, it was completely not true.
Because selling people, no cap. Well, I mean, yeah, well, because you'll have these kids that are like, why aren't I high value yet? Why aren't I high value? You know, life isn't giving me a fair shake. Life isn't giving me a fair shake. I'm angry. When the reality is life doesn't owe you anything. It doesn't. We, for the most part, make the best of the situations and the cards were given. That's just a reality of things. Life kind of sucks sometimes, but that's part of the experience, right? Good, bad, and otherwise. We all have experiences in life that we get to either enjoy. There is value sometimes in the suffering that comes from our lives, right? Whether it like, I'm really good in a crisis. When there's a crisis, I'm the fucking person to go to. Okay? Shit's hitting the fan. I can deal with it. Not a problem. It doesn't stress me out. I don't get freaked out. I don't shut down. I can deal with that shit. Not a problem. I actually thrive on it. Okay? When shit hits the fan. But that's only because I've had a lot of shit hit the fan that I've had to deal with. And it was really hard. And you suffered in those moments, but you get it done. Right? Same with work. Right? I hate fucking working hard. I do. And I suffer through it. But it's helped me get a lot of other things fucking done. So, no cappy, honestly. The lobsters might have gone JP and made him go insane, but his cleaning advice still stands true. We all need to be top lobsters, okay? But realistically, that even I think the thing is like, because I was barely political, you know, where he's like, oh, you're a fan of Noam Chomsky. It's like, whoa, chill. I think Noam Chomsky said some really smart things. I think he said some really fucking stupid things. I think everybody can do that. And I think parsing out the good from the stupid is really important. Jordan B. Peterson has said a lot of good things. He's also said a lot of stupid shit. Right? But yeah, we can take his good stuff for his bad stuff. That's okay. We can do that.
Empiricism.
It's not scary.
They've done studies, compared self-reported self-esteem, gender, and age across 48 nations, and they found that women had lower self-esteem in every country that was analyzed. So when you say that, like, oh, ask a woman, she'll rate herself 10, she says she's 100, she's perfect.
No,
this is not true.
Not at all. Spoken like a true man that's never asked a woman that.
No, it's that women, whether or not they say that, I don't care. It's that, generally speaking, women have way lower self-esteem than men. So when you make it sound like all women would just be like, I'm perfect, I'm beyond 10, I'm 100, whatever. That's just not, it's not borne out by the data.
Yeah, that was his Canadian side.
Like that's part of the reason you avoid data.
Wait, the stupid stuff or the good stuff?
That's data
both true.
Right there. I'm asking women every single night, what would you rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10? They say 10, 1,000, a million.
That's not
That's
data.
their data. That's exactly what data is.
Where's my calculator? Let's say Sneako talks to 10 women a night. Okay? And he goes out every night. Okay? He's gone out every night. Okay? For the last... Like, he never skips a night. Okay? For the last even 10 years. Okay? He's talking to 10 women. He's talked to... Let's say he's talked to 36,000 women. Okay? In his lifetime. Let's say that'd be a pretty decent size. You know, it's probably a little conservative. Maybe get more than 10 women a day, you know, if he does the fresh and fit shit. Some days going to be more, some days going to be less. You know, Sunday's Lord's Day, rest, praise be. Congratulations, you've done like 1, maybe 2 towns in America. Maybe depending on the size of the town, maybe more depending on, you know, how small these towns are, right? But we're talking a 0.00001% of fucking women in just the United States, let alone the fucking planet, right? And not only that, we're taking your word on it, right? You're taking the fact that you want to believe that, put into a situation where you're asking these women, they're being truthful with you, right? Because my guess is that most women are going to be like, oh yeah, you know, I'm a 5, because Sneako will be like, oh yeah, all right, peace, right? Of course they're all going to say 10 out of 10. Why wouldn't they? right? They're in probably a more not pressured's not the right word, but more adversarial kind of conversation when you're kind of being asked those questions in kind of a quasi kind of poking at somebody's self-esteem type deal. That's going to be a lot different from like a kind of more encouraged might be the word I'm looking for. Yeah, and more of an encouraged situation. Yeah. So I think this is kind of stupid from Sneako, but chattily does.
That's a real life study. That's an anecdote.
Not a study. That's an anecdote.
That's what a study is.
Hunter should ask for his paper.
Give me their answers.
That's not what a study is. A study controls for other aspects. A study collects the data and compares it to other forms of data. There's more that goes into it than what like just asking questions. This, for example, was analyzing survey data.
That's collecting data. That's collecting data.
This was analyzing survey data from over 900,000 men and women.
Based.
Okay, they're not just walking up and like, how's your self-esteem today, LOL? And out of those near 1 million people, women consistently scored lower when it came to self-esteem as opposed to men.
Sneako for his paper, man.
Well, yeah, that was just another thing I wanted to point out.
What's the plural of anecdote data?
I'm going off of real life experience because I'm telling you, all that stuff could be manipulated, and that's a perfect example of me conducting a real life.
But your shit could be manipulated.
What would you rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10? And they all say that repeatedly.
Oh, 10, of course.
Maybe because, like what I said in my video already, is you surround yourself by shallow people. It's very likely.
Shallow women?
Yeah, of course. They're shallow people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you better than them?
I didn't say that, and I don't know how I would go about measuring that.
I'm asking you.
You bigger than me? You think you're bigger than me?
Fresh and Fit are shallow, and all those women are shallow. Are you better?
I don't know. Yes, I don't usually like to say that I'm better than other people because I don't know.
I'm better than other people. I'll say it.
I don't know what metric we would be measuring that by, but I think that I'm better than
all
you,
metrics. All metrics.
Why do you think you're
better than all the peoples and all the
metrics.
metrics.
Behind the claims that I make, and you have.
It's okay. I'll bite the bullet for you, Hunter. Don't worry, buddy.
Dude. Like, this is fucking laughable. If we used your logic and rejected mine, then we would all be here believing the world was flat. Because I go outside, bro, and I see a flat, open plain. But thanks to data and empiricism and investigation, we know that the Earth is not, in fact, flat. That's the result, though, of your type of
It's
reasoning.
Not?
And it's funny because earlier you were like, oh, logic. Like, this is the most illogical thing I've heard.
It's a dumb way to argue to go and do homework before this and list a bunch of articles that back up what you're saying, because I could do the exact same thing.
Maybe
you could have. Why didn't you?
There's no point in engaging in a conversation like that. Because the internet is so large, there's a study that's going to back up whatever you believe. What I believe I could find if I Google
what
right
are the
now,
other two options?
I could find you the same amount of articles saying the same thing. It's a waste of time to do this.
Yeah, this is your problem. Is that it's not a waste of time. This is what
that
helps
makes you feel better. Like the fact that you think bringing up articles makes you a better person. It's just.
He didn't even say he was a better person. That was me, Sneako.
This is not gonna get any place because if you
talking to you and
your
only you,
self-esteem by
Sneako,
doing studies, then I'm not going to convince you.
That's
because
not how I garner my self-esteem. But I do think that as far as this engagement goes,
what you said.
I'm definitely better because again, I have data that backs up my claims. I don't just have my friend said this, dude.
That's my data too. Asking women in front of a live audience.
But your data is not applicable.
Oh wait.
In a broad.
I thought he was doing this in the club. Oh, he's talking about on Fresh and Fit. Oh yeah, no, then I would totally not trust that shit. Of course they're all gonna tell you 10 on the fucking show. How fucking scary would it be? Man, it'd be funny if you had people reviewing your content and you just like, like that fucking, where's the word? The Hassan one where the guy's like, he talks about being a tier 3 sub in Hassan's fucking thing and Hassan pauses and goes and finds out. And the guy's like, okay, thank you for unpausing the video, Hassan. That's a good fucking meme. This house fell down. God damn it, old timer, fix my house. don't even know how much that's going to fill their tummies. Yum, 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 yum. Oh, that's actually quite a bit. The rest of you get gruel. Oh, burnt one. Oops. Ooh, 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 ooh. We're burning too many. Burning too many. We got stuff on fire. Repeat, got stuff on fire. No, I don't need the fire one! God damn it. You better not die from that.
Odd circumstance. So again, like, if you talk to
Normally I can just smash the shit out of the egg and cook them all.
Shallow, and you say this woman is shallow,
Just like real life.
that's fine. You're
Choose
correct.
form.
She
Got
is
lots of
probably
forms.
shallow. However, the problem is when you extrapolate from that and then say women are shallow.
Oh, I like this one. Look at him. He's got multiple
You
eyes.
can't
Oh, he's a
extrapolate
fishy.
from one or a couple bad engagements with women onto all women. And I don't think that you would appreciate this being done reverse either. I mean, imagine if somebody said like, yeah, men have
Yeah, man, you get lots of forms.
tried to
I
rape
usually just let them
all
come in
men
as
are
me,
rapists.
as they are. Hey, look at that, same one. Nice.
That would be fucking stupid.
Convert me to your cult.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, purple skull. Oh, nice.
Yeah. Bottom line, if you're right, then people should gravitate towards you.
I don't even know what else to say. Like, that is so divorced from reality. I don't even know where to go from that. I mean, there are people that have no audience at all that also are speaking
That's me.
truth based on empiricism, research, data collection, and it's not contingent as to whether or not they have a large audience.
True.
These studies that you're pulling up has given you a false sense of moral superiority that deflects from conversation, and it's warped your reality when you could do real life studies. See, I garner what I talk about based off life experience, based on conversations, and by collecting data live in front of people, asking these people. But it's anecdotal as well, and this is what I don't like about
man.
Is they
Man. I can't tell if it's naivety or stupidity. That would make him believe that the people on that show are giving him the most truthful answers when they're on that show. I feel like it's naivety. But honestly don't know. Probably a little bit of both. I think more leaning towards the side of naivety than stupidity.
think that
but
pulling up some studies that back up exactly what they're saying means that it's true, but that's just as anecdotal as talking to people and figuring it out. Because the internet is so large.
It's true.
That is
the problem. That is the problem.
It's anecdotal to select those websites and those studies and say this is the truth. That's just as anecdotal as me having a conversation.
No, it's not.
But I think the reason it works is because it's playing on people's confirmation biases, right? In the same way that like me saying, you know what, it's good for you to express your emotion, is kind of playing on your guys' confirmation biases, right? Like you to some degree, you already have to be willing to listen to me to hear the things that I'm saying, right? It's not just enough for me to say the things. And I think in a lot of the instances with the fresh and like the fresh and fit stuff or the Sneako stuff, is people kind of already believe. So, truth is subjective. You know, nothing. I love it. It's fucking based. I mean, isn't just everything subjective? It's a little bit of the frustrating part. Fuck you, reality, for being subjective. God damn it. We're almost at day 69.
I don't think you know what anecdotal means. It means like a personal experience.
Personal experience. It's
Yeah,
your personal
it's not
experience.
anecdotal that 985,000 people
You just
were
parroted it back
engaged
to
in a
him.
survey tracking from the ages of 16 to 45 in 48 different countries. And then they analyzed all of that data and found that women on average have lower levels of self-esteem.
How they conducted the study.
You can
don't
read
even
about
know
it.
what they
and
asked.
also, why would this is the cope. You are coping right now. You went from I don't trust the data to, well, anybody can get a study for anything to, well, they probably just did the study wrong.
Man, this looks like
You're
the
in, like,
Halo
the
sword.
They could have
stages
done the
of cope
study
right now.
It's not coping. It's understanding that not that one study proves exactly what you're saying, and I can find a study proving what I'm saying. This is a dumb way to go back and forth, and it's anecdotal.
Damn, the
because
sword
it's
is
your personal
fucking
experience.
killer.
I can find something that backs up what I'm saying, and we can go argue back and forth about the study. And I'm saying trusting that one source you found on the internet
What does
is
it
a
do?
stupid
Chance
way
to
to
deal
go
critical
about it
hit when
because you don't even know
attacking
how they
enemies.
conducted it,
Nice.
and you're saying this is true because I read it on the internet.
One, that's not what I'm saying at all. If
That's
I were
exactly what
no,
you're
if I were like, hey, here's a Reddit thread. That
Oh,
would
but
be-
then on the flip side of that, Sneako is coping super hard. Because on the flip side of that, you just believe it because you heard, like, other people are supposed to believe you because you've said it and heard it on the internet. Right? Like, what you're saying also applies to you in the exact same fucking capacity, if not worse. Because the difference is the researchers, can look at all the data, put it into a paper. The people listening to you are just totally relying on your subjective memory, right? Which memory can be extremely faulty. And your audience is putting 100% trust in you that you're accurately relaying that shit to them. So
more equivalent.
yeah,
to
this
what
is
you
just
said.
huge code.
Second of all, earlier when we were having a conversation about how men
Oh my
should
God.
cry, I cited multiple different sources. I didn't just give one study. I believe that I'm right about that because there are multiple different sources that support that conclusion. But you didn't want to hear any of those either.
And the worst part is you can't ask
Do you think that people want
Sneako
to find the
what the
truth and
counter
people
is because he just
resonate
has his
with people who
personal
are speaking the
experience.
truth?
Potentially, but there are a lot of people that speak lies, and also a lot of people resonate with them as well.
Yeah.
Like who?
Like who? I don't know. Alex Jones
No.
is pretty famous. There's-
Linkers.
Yeah, that Alex Jones is the first person.
We'll
that
need
comes to
something for after this
mind.
because I'm a content whore.
Yeah, I'm not gonna convince
I'm a
you.
consumer
and,
whore.
I gave up on trying. But I,
feel
think
like-
this is a good example for my chat to see.
Actually, I don't know if you can throw a link in YouTube chat.
Comments. Of course, you
You
said
can't.
Alex Jones, and you probably
Are you in my-
you're not
are
a
you in my
fan of Donald
Discord?
Trump. You also don't like what Ye said recently in the media. You are happy
what
that
he-
Andrew Tate was banned. Think it's a good thing because he was spreading misogynistic lies to teens. It's like we know what you think, and there's not really getting a convincing way out of this.
You really
Basically,
don't
the
think there
bottom
was
line-
anything wrong with you didn't see any problems with what Kanye said recently
No.
about the Jews controlling the media and all having one agenda, like that
Okay,
they
I
operate as a
didn't,
monolith. You don't feel like that's a little bit yikesy?
Yikesy?
No, I
What
can't
does
see it.
yikesy mean?
Like a little bit of an issue? Wrong? Incorrect?
Is that wrong?
It's not wrong that Jews have disproportionate power in some of these industries. It is wrong to assume that Jews are all a monolith, thinking the same way, who are all
Oh, look at that,
working
you're already in
as
there,
a
perfect.
cabal to try and flood the country with degeneracy, the woke.
Oh shit!
not
Hell
at all.
yeah!
I
Let's
know you didn't say that,
go!
but what
And Ye didn't say they either. He never
Kanye
said
didn't
any of
say
those
that
words.
verbatim, but what Kanye
So
did say.
you're putting words into his mouth. This is what I'm.
All right, call to action. If you're liking the stream, make sure you hit that like and follow button because it helps boost me in the algorithm. I hit it right now. Okay, helps boost me, boost my bottom. People talking about leftover pussy is really funny. Like, what the fuck is that? Honey, we got any food? Yeah, there's some leftover cock and balls with a side of pussy fingers in the fridge. I'm sorry. I didn't cook anything.
I'm
No,
saying, like,
that's
there's
not true.
there's not
That's
really
I'm
a
not
point in
putting
convincing
words-
those types of people.
Okay, we'll watch that one after.
My
I think
point
this one's
is,
almost
the
done.
types of people
Yeah.
that you're calling a liar, like
Got like 20
you
minutes
don't
left.
like Trump, you don't like Ye, you don't like Andrew Tate, you don't like Alex Jones. Those people will garner an audience and get people motivated, inspired, because the truth really does resonate with people. And there's a reason why people like you, people like Joe Biden, Hillary, they will not ever garner an audience. They won't motivate and inspire people and have a speech.
So if somebody has a
because-
bigger audience, that means they're telling the truth?
No, not a bigger audience, but have a motivated audience and have people garnered, having people really resonate. The
What
people
does that
watch
mean to have a
you
motivated
are more
audience?
Fucking
hoping.
stupid right now. You're
Yeah,
actually
well,
being dumb
the
as
people
shit.
that watch you,
the fact that
they
you
see-
think whether
Okay.
or not somebody's saying whether or not what someone's saying is true or not is based on how many people that resonate with it is just it's deranged. That is appealing to the popular or to the popular, I guess, audience
populace.
in this case. Yeah, the populace in a
yeah.
way. Yeah, you're saying that because this
I
person
believe
has
in
more
power to the
people,
people.
because this person has more.
By that logic, literally all the mainstream stuff then is actually the truth because it's actually more popular and it's garnered more of an audience, population size wise, than anything on like Sneako's YouTube has. But okay,
people
if you
listening
think
to them,
that's
they must
stupid,
be
then
correct.
it's not more people. It's inspiring and motivating people. The reason
Oh, we can
list
make a
those people is because
Stonehenge?
they have an
Hell
audience
yeah.
That really connects with them on a level. The people that watch you and the people that watch the brainwash, the people that believe in all the same shit that you're saying, if you look at the comments, it's not like, wow, this is amazing. This is motivating me. The comments are, this is disgusting, in a response to what you think is fucking stupid.
Okay, well,
It's-
first and foremost, what you said a minute
You
ago
You're
overhype
was
making
fucking
people feel
stupid.
better. You
No,
make
a minute
people
ago
feel
what
better.
you
It's
said
like
was
you-
fucking
you
stupid.
comb-
Do you think that if I had a huge audience, if I had 4 million people subscribing to me right now, that now what I'm
Based.
saying is true?
There would be more truth to it. If you were motivating, inspiring people, that's my metric to if somebody's
Damn.
speaking the truth. If
Wait,
they
so
can
you
connect
actually
with people.
think that if somebody has a larger audience, it's more likely they're telling the truth?
No, people have huge audiences like Hasanabi, for example, but I don't think he could really motivate and inspire people. He has like 30 to 40,000 people. He's saying all the same shit that you're saying. And if he tried to have a live event or if he tried to like host a show, it would be extremely low energy. There would be nobody motivated, nobody inspired. Everyone would just be there because what he does and what people like you do is they just talk down to other things that bring people up. You're saying toxic masculinity. You're telling people to go to therapy. You're telling people to take antidepressants.
Wait, isn't that what you do though? You talk down like ideas of progressivism, just to bump people up in their ideas. Like, and that's the irony. The irony is killing me. Like I killed that frog. Oh my lord. Round and
that Alex
round
Jones and Ye is a
and
piece of shit when they're really
round
trying to wake people up
we go.
and tell people the truth. Your
Well, I'd
type
like
of
to,
content is just bringing down. It's lower vibration. It's low energy. And
Low
it
vibrations.
coincides with everything else.
Has
Do you guys?
a
You think
lower
you think
vibration,
Sneako has
though.
crystals
Okay,
around
let's
the
stop
inside of his
letting
house?
people
I bet she does.
Again, you're saying that if somebody has a larger audience, it's more likely that they're correct. That is the appeal to ad populum
I
fallacy.
just
You're
told you
embarrassing
no.
yourself.
I just told you that Lasanabi has probably like 5-6 times more
Double
live viewers
gold,
right
but
now
they
through
drop
streaming,
poison.
But he will
Gross.
not motivate and inspire people the same way that the truth will. People
So
like me
if
talking
he had a
and
more
everybody else
upbeat
that you think is a bad
audience,
person.
Well, like, what about Adolf Hitler? Adolf Hitler was able to motivate, quote unquote, and inspire a lot of people. He had a very
Careful,
passionate
Hunter.
following. That's how he rose to power.
Careful, Hunter.
Is what Adolf Hitler was saying correct? You would
Oh,
obviously
no.
have to say no.
Okay.
He
phew.
said a lot of wrong things, but he was speaking to people
Oh no.
that were disenfranchised
Oh, no.
after World War One, and he was
Oh
motivating them.
no.
He was connecting
Oh,
with a lot of people in
no.
Germany at that time. I mean, history shows. what
Sneako be
happened,
acting
but-
hella gay, not gonna lie. Gay people are the ones that can
Yeah,
feel the
sure,
vibe
just
and the
I don't think that's,
vibrations
like-
through the air.
I don't know
Common
what else
knowledge.
to say because it's like you're unironically just basing.
Oh my god. Is that why I'm
whether or
feeling it
not
right
somebody's
now?
More likely to
Is the vibrations coming from inside the
as to
house?
whether or not they have a larger audience and also a motivated audience. I don't know what that
No,
necessarily
you
means.
could you could have
I don't know
a
how you
huge
would measure
audience.
that.
You could have a really big audience, and I think the reason that
Oh, another good
these big
question.
tech websites
I hate
ban
to
people
I hate to go back to old D. Okay? The old big D. But then by that metric then Destiny is also speaking truth. Maybe more so than Sneako's audience. Sneako is to his audience, right? Then how do you determine between the two who is being more truthful, right? Because Sneako would then have to concede because Destiny's got he's got a very active following, right? People are doing shit, they're posting things, he gets them to come out for like canvassing things, like very, very active community, right? So in Sneako's mind, he would be speaking truth, right? So if Sneako thinks he's speaking truth and Destiny is speaking truth through his own metric, how the fuck do you know who is actually speaking truth in Sneako's world?
ban is because they're
Because
connecting with.
then he wouldn't just resort to who has the more active audience. He would revert back to the like lib talking points.
People and resonating with
So,
them in a way
I know I'm
that they are
trying to make shit that doesn't really make sense, but you know it's fun.
not prepared for. That's why these mainstream news websites. That's why they're all downclimbing. Their views are in the trash. Nobody watches them. People are more inclined to go to a live streamer that's really speaking to them, and so they need to get rid of them. What they purport and what they push on YouTube and all these Matrix websites are people that are just like low vibration, low
Matrix.
energy, keeping them down.
Matrix
here,
websites.
because that type of entertainment, that type of content is just like, this is dumb. I don't. This is toxic. This is misogynist.
So what makes like Andrew Tate, for example, somebody with a huge following who also has a very motivated following, what makes him correct based on that metric, but makes Adolf Hitler incorrect based on that metric.
Hitler should not have killed people. He was inspiring a lot of hate.
Was what he was saying at all kind of correct?
About Germany having to band
About
together.
Jews, about the
About
Jews.
anti-immigration. No, he was wrong about a lot of that, but he was right about trying to bring Germany back to the way it was before World War I. They got screwed, and he was speaking to them in a way that was needed at the time.
Yeah, but again, now you're acknowledging a incredibly popular time in history in which somebody had a large following, an extremely motivated following, and they were wrong.
And they were not
So
speaking
clearly
truth.
Your method of determining whether or not somebody is speaking truth or are more likely to speak truth is flawed.
It's a good little wrap up.
He went too far. He went too far. But he was speaking a lot of truth.
But
So he was speaking
yikes.
some truth.
Of course.
Okay. Yeah, I just like I don't know how you're able to say then that having a larger audience, having a more motivated audience determines whether or not, or excuse me, raises the likelihood that you're speaking truth.
Ooh, this is a good one.
If you're also acknowledging examples throughout history where the complete opposite was true. I don't know. I think that might be something that you need to work out. Maybe you should go see a therapist, actually. Try to work that one out. But also, I want to say one other thing about the Kanye shit. I never tried to put words in Kanye's mouth, and I never
Kanye
said
does that
he
for
said
himself.
that verbatim. However, what he did say is that the Jews control the media and that they blackball anyone who goes against their agenda. He is assuming within that quote, within that statement, that Jews are a monolith who have...
I went a little too far, you know? He got all carried away. It's a little crazy, you know?
That's why I take issue with what Kanye said.
And Alex Jones and Sandy Hook and yeah. I mean, we know the talking points.
Wait,
There's no.
Wait, does he think Alex Jones was totally justified in doing what he did with
All right.
the Sandy
Is this the
Hook
end of the
conspiracy theories? Holy
Yeah,
shit.
I need to talk to my chat because they're getting riled up right now.
All right, well,
I bet their
nice
brain is
talking to
probably
you.
processing at
Hitler did nothing
110%
wrong,
capacity.
Sneako. Or Hitler had good points, Sneako. I think that you really need to just rethink that way of that method of determining whether or not somebody's speaking truth.
Based on if they're motivating people.
No, because you say that, but then you also have to acknowledge that Adolf Hitler inspired, motivated people, had a huge audience, and
He
was
inspired
fucking
a lot
wrong.
of hate. He inspired a lot of hate, but there was somebody that needed to do that at Germany at that time.
Inspire
Why
hate?
People resonate with him, but it obviously went too far.
Well, no, nobody needed to do that.
Well, see you later. I hope.
What you needed in that instance was to pull Germany out of a state of hate, right, and out of a state of depression. But what you didn't need somebody to do was scapegoat a certain ethnicity with all of Germany's problems and Holocaust those individuals. Okay, and that is I don't even want to touch it anymore because that shit that. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button and check out other cool content on the channel. Thank you.